Okay, to start off this running coordination based series, we've got some hip focused mobility because hips are going to be key into hitting some of the positions later. So this first one is just a hamstring reach and rotate. So you step forward, straighten the knee, and then open up with the opposite side arm, following the movement of your hand with your eyes. Next up, we've got a classic hip opener. So you're just taking same side foot to hand and then opening up that groin. And then we're reversing that. We're reaching, walking the hands towards the feet and then parking the same side foot next to the hand. Like so. Next up, we've just got a knee hug. So we're lifting the knee into that hip lock position. At the same time, as you can see, I'm pushing up through the ball of the big foot, the ball of the big toe, to get a little bit of heel lift as well. Next up, we've got a hip rotator stretch. So I'm just taking the heel into the heel of the hand and then pulling up to get a hip capsule stretch in there. Next one's a simple high kick for the hamstring. Just taking your time not to arch your back and just to hip flex up into the hand. Keep the standing leg in extension. We've got a lateral lunge to rotate. So I'm stepping with the near side foot and then reaching with the far side hand. Just to open up those adductors and get into the groin. You want to face the same way to go back, so we're working the opposite side. So reaching with this near side hand now and stepping with that far side foot. Okay, first thing we're going to train for adaptation is some Achilles, some ankle stiffness, and we're using some bilateral, two-legged pogo jumps. So as you can see, all the way through these, I'm nice and stiff on the ground contact with the forefoot, which is where the base of the toes start. My knee angle is fairly consistent, so the majority of the movement has been generated through the ankle complex. Go into one leg now, unilateral, and you can really mix this up. Just go multi-directional. Try and make sure we're getting a little bit of vertical movement, so the head should be going up and down rather than just shuffling across the ground. Next up is the first of our coordination drills. We've got an A skip, so knees coming up, opposite side hands coming up, and then I'm getting a slight bit of air time off the ground through the standing foot. So do this side on as well. So I'm trying to make sure I look forward and then really open up the arm angle at the back as your front side knee comes up. Make sure your foot is striking the floor under and slightly in front of the hip each time, really key. Next up, we're going to ask you to skip for as much vertical height as you can. So make sure we lock that hip up into the hip lock position. But ultimately, how much vertical height can we get? And then similarly, how much horizontal distance can we get with a skip? Next up, we're hitting that A position again, but we're doing a pull back. And the pull back is as you come into that hip lock position, you are just pulling the heel back towards the hamstring, like you're trying to wipe something off the bottom of your shoe. Still making sure we're contacting the ground under and slightly in front of the hip, very slightly. Straight leg bounds now, so just nice and bouncy, contact through the forefoot. The knees are soft, but the legs are straight. Same thing, we're trying to contact the floor under the hip. And finally, the A position single switch, or some people call them boom booms. We're making sure we're locking up with one side, switching under our hips, and then finishing in that same side that we started on. And then a side angle, we'll do another single, then we'll look at a double switch. There's the single, and there's the double. So with the double, I'm going right, back to right, twice. There it is. Okay, have a go at those, guys. Great for coordination.